Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to this new episode of the Dalia Effect. I'm Dalia and I will teach you everything I know so you can flourish in life, just like Dalia the flower. Today we are going to talk about authenticity and the fear of judgment. Fear of judgment holds you back in life. I always say life is waiting on you on the other side of fear, and fear of judgment is very normal and also very common. But when you dim your authenticity in the pursuit of external validation, then you might just spend your life performing as someone for an audience that might never applaud. You don't have external validation under your control, and how other people perceive you is not your responsibility. The image that people paint of you is not your responsibility. The opinions of people who you don't look up to doesn't concern you, because people give judgment or advice from their own perspective and their own lives. If you look at somebody's life and it's not a life you would want to trade, then why would their opinion matter? Authenticity is so important in life, to find what's meant for you and to filter out whatever is not. And then you have to think to yourself, who would you be if you didn't have any external pressure or any mental obligation to please anyone? Who would you be if nobody could approve nor disapprove of the decisions you make and the life you live and how you present yourself into the world? That's the person you are meant to be. And every time you bend yourself to fit in places where you don't belong, you are missing out on opportunities that your authenticity could have gotten you. Authenticity is the biggest buffer you can have to protect you from rejection. Any form of rejection can be a bit painful, especially when it is regarding relationships or maybe friendships. But when you always were authentic and your true self, obnoxiously and unapologetically, then whatever doesn't stick is not meant for you. And it doesn't mean that the rejection hurts any less, but that means that you can make peace with rejection. And especially in relationships, when you perform in a certain way to be liked or loved, then that person likes a version of you that doesn't exist. And this will make you fundamentally insecure about who you truly are as a person. How in life are you supposed to find what's meant for you if you're not being you? Do you, at the end of your life, want to live in regret of things you could have done, places you could have been, or a person you could have become that never happened because you were too busy pleasing other people or trying to fit into other people's perception of you? Once you start building your self-esteem and your self-image on external validation is not reliable and it's not under your control. Authentically being yourself feels uncomfortable in the beginning, but very freeing in the long term. I don't hold back my humor anymore or the things I want to say. I dress the way I want. I don't always take the conventional route in life, but best believe the first time I stepped out in clothes that were standing out, I wasn't comfortable. I actually was very uncomfortable. I would rather be uncomfortable in the process of becoming more like myself than being uncomfortable because I'm living a life or performing as a person that I'm not. Because at the end of the day, your happiness only has to make sense to you. And you know why? Because your happiness is your responsibility. And of course, we are social beings, so it's normal that we care about what people think about us. It's normal that it crosses our mind. You need to mentally have a thought pattern ready that brings you back to your authenticity when you start caring about people's opinions. For example, sometimes I think, oh no, what would they think? And then I mentally go, okay, maybe if they would think that, then I would feel like this. But at the end of the day, would it really matter? Because they don't understand me, because they're not a person like me, but I'm being authentic. So at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, because if it doesn't stick, then it's not meant for me. Because also how people judge is a reflection of their insecurities and what's going on internally with them. And I have also said this in previous episodes. For example, if you post on social media and people judge you for posting and they find it's cringe. Especially to be cringe is to be free. And I really live by that. I love to be cringe. But they are scared to post themselves, so they judge you for doing something because they won't do it themselves. But don't let people's judgment keep you in places that they are scared to get out of, because their insecurity is not your responsibility. How the people you really value and look up to view you holds way more value than 100 random people judging you. I care more about how my sister would describe me, and maybe 10 people on the internet would say that I'm arrogant and I'm a bitch and I'm too full of myself. But I know the value that I hold to my loved ones, and that's the opinion that matters. And for example, my mom, I love her a lot, but I know that she probably wouldn't have made the same life decisions as me. So in that way, I'm still choosing myself. I know that every time in my life I want to prove something, or I try to prove something to someone, or even to an imaginary audience, it comes from a place of insecurity. It comes because fundamentally, sometimes I think that I'm under accomplishing. So every time you want to prove something external and get external validation, it is also a chance to look inward and see what insecurity is causing this, and where is this insecurity coming from in the beginning of living an authentic life. And I'm also keeping this pretty broad because people can interpret it in the way that they need or that speaks to them, so that you can use this journey of authenticity on whatever it means to you. But in the beginning of the journey to authenticity, you will filter out more than you gain, and it might get a bit lonely, because when you have spent a long period of your life bending into places and adapting to please the external world, then there's also a chance that a lot of it will get filtered out. And that's a really uncomfortable part of the journey. I think the beginning of any journey might feel uncomfortable, but in the long term, and it won't happen overnight, obviously, but you will start noticing that the things in your life are the aftermath of your authenticity. And this might be your friendships, your relationship, your job, your habits, your hobbies, where you live, who you live with. Even now, sometimes some opportunities that I get or that I've gotten came from authentic conversations with strangers. And even though there might also be a lonely part in the journey of authenticity, the most comforting part is that when you're truly authentic, you wake up as yourself every day. Even on your worst day, you get to wake up as you, in your body, with your passions, with your mindsets. So be authentic so you can also learn to enjoy your own company and admire yourself. I don't want the fear of judgment to hold you back from living your life, because the road to authenticity is also a road of self-love. It's not something that you're going to do out of hate for yourself. It's something that you're going to do out of love for yourself. So when some things or some people or some relationships might get filtered out, you also have to accept it out of love for yourself. Authenticity is also what will help you choose your career path. If you truly feel passion for something, then that would ask you less energy than the average person. That means that you will outperform somebody that might be doing something for the money when you are doing something out of authenticity, because for you it will be sustainable, because it's rooted in passion. And I've also already said this in a previous episode, but nobody can compete with you at being you, because only you are you. So be you. Also, when you build a fundamental form of inner security, authenticity will also come paired with it. I have also already uploaded an episode on how to become confident and how it is more of an internal journey, which also pretty much aligns with this episode. So I really recommend to check it out. And I'm going to end the episode with saying good luck. Be you. Thank you for listening today, and I see